Depression is a spirit. Now, what I mean by that is, for one, the doctors will prescribe medicine for depression. That's by medical term because they diagnosed it. Now, the reason I know it's a spirit is because a few years ago, when my ex died, those first couple months, there were times and there were moments I'd be down and feeling down. Now, there were moments to where I used to feel so down. I felt my mind sinking and falling into what I realized was depression, and would have been depression if I would have fell into it. But when I realized my mind was starting to sink into that, what I did was I gravitated to and worked towards the little bit of light that I had. Meaning, talking about, what I was going through, what I was experiencing, you know, the pain of, losing my ex. Me and her mom used to talk about it, and I used to talk about it um, with friends of mine, what I was experiencing. Also, I kept continuing to go certain places that I used to like to go to. All these things I was doing was helping me. And, going to a church that I was going to, and we'll have men's hour. So when they just say, who wants prayer for this? I always, volunteer to get prayer for what I was dealing with at that time. So all these things I was doing that was helping me, that was the light for me. And as long as I kept doing it, it helped, it worked. Then after a couple months, I was able to cope with what I was dealing with. You know, able to accept and live with what I was dealing with. And that's what worked. That's what helped working myself, working more towards the light and feeling that energy of the light. And then things started uplifting, started feeling better. Then it got to a point where I wasn't getting down about it. Now, did I still think about it at times? Yes. But once I got to the point I was able to cope with it and live with it and continue to live my everyday life, that's what it was. And this is how I know depression is a spirit, because I came up against that. But that's how I was able to avoid that and not fall into that depression. Now, for those who are already dealing with depression, other than taking the medicine you may have to take for it or dealing with it however you deal with it, one of the best things I suggest is, praying to God and asking Him to deliver you from the spirit of depression, deliver you from depression completely. You know, that's one of the best things I suggest, because I also did pray even though I avoided it, but that's one of the best things, praying to God and ask for that help. And again, you know, and God rest my head. So, and with that being said, that's that.